Hello all, welcome. This is a session over tracing on STM32 discovery. Please subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe button, and in this we will be explaining about tracing in the mm, on STM32 discovery. So please do not miss the ending. We this has got a video onto how we can trace at the ending. Please do not miss the ending. Let's try to get into it. There are two separate trace blocks in Cortex M3, the ITM and ETM. That is instrumentation trace macro cell and embedded trace macro cell. The names tell nothing about the difference between the two. ITM does higher level, smaller bandwidth, less intrusive traces like watch points, interrupts, and periodic program counter sampling. ETM, on the other hand, traces every single instruction executed by the CPU. In practice, it is usually necessary to slow down the CPU to use ETM, while ITM can be used without slowing down. So, ITM ITM traces. Let's look into the ITM traces. The ITM trace can be configured to contain program counter every program counter value every n instructions, n greater than or equal to 32, interrupt and entry and exit, watch points up to 4, that is data values and address of access code, software events, basically acting as a high speed serial port for debug prints, DWT events, that is notice every n instruction cycles per RAM, mm, instructions per cycles per RAM loads have been executed, useful for code profiling. See, I will just show you a trace. Okay, just look at this trace. Here in the about trace we can see that the code toggling the PC8 GPIO pin. PC8 GPIO pin. I have set a watch point on GPIOC register and we get information that the watch point was triggered by a code at 0x 1010, isn't it, which wrote 0x 0000100 to the register. Can you see here stream 1, below the stream 1 there is data, below that I have marked that. Okay, after that we get a software trace packet which the code sends by calling ITM print o comma on. The 0 is the port number. There are 32 ITM trace ports. Yeah, that I'll be telling you later. See, I'm on to the live also, please be patient. Okay, um, after that I repeat, after that we get a software trace packet which the code sends by calling ITM print o comma on. The 0 is the port number. There are 32 ITM trace ports which can be used to keep prints from example interrupts and codes, other codes separate from each other. A nice thing is that you can also send through 32-bit binary values without having to format them as text. There are no interrupts visible, so the current mode is kept as thread, that is outside interrupts. Also the PC sampling does not occur during this zoomed in view, so the current location doesn't change. Okay, I hope you understood this. Let's move on to the ETM trace. The ETM trace always contains, as we discussed earlier, program counter value and CPU state periodically. So interrupt entry and exit, interrupt exchange execution information of instruction. Example, 6 instructions executed, 1 skipped due to the condition codes. So the target the target address of a indirect branches, that is branches where the address is not known at compiler time. ETM traces can also be configured to pause the CPU when the trace FIFO, first in first out, is full. This is usually what you want, because if you are tracing at ETM level, then you probably don't like having gaps in the trace. Report every branch address. This slows down the trace and is not needed when a firmware image is available. Report data values. This could be quite useful but is not supported by the Cortex M controllers. Okay, the ETM trace format is quite efficient. Usually you can trace at close to real speed if you trace 2 pin in the same frequency as your CPU. However, with a cheap 24 MSPS logic analyzer, capture is only possible up to 8 MHz signals. The CPU stalling pausing functionality then becomes useful to capture full traces at the cost of slowing down the program. I repeat, ETM trace format is quite efficient. Usually you can trace close to real speed if your trace WO pin is the same frequency as your CPU. However, with a cheap 24 MSPS logical analyzer, capture is only possible up to 8 MHz signals. The CPU stalling means pausing functionality then becomes useful to capture full traces at low cost. Let's see one sample trace. So in this above 4 instruction piece of code, have a look at it. So we have 4 instruction piece of code from my example. I hope that the display format is easy to understand. It shows the program address. You can see the program address, isn't it? It shows the program address, the instruction executed, and the source code line, and they correspond to. You can see, right? PC 0x, initially it was program counter, and next it was instructions, next it was source code, and next it was current location. Okay, but what is actually happening there is the first instruction clears the PC9 pin. Why is it already cleared in the left edge of the graph? This is one of the shortcomings of ETM trace as compared to the ITM. There is a significant delay between the event and trace, typically around 2 microseconds when tracing at 8 MHz. I hope you are understanding this, right? We have 4 instruction piece of code, right? So you can see the delay. One has to compensate for this manually when reading the graph. Okay. See, the 3 other instructions correspond to ETM underscore setup mode, setup mode function call, which ends at the ETM trace, but the ETM trace slows down the program. It often makes the sense to only enable it for specific parts of the code. This code can be done through configuring code memory address to ETM, but often it is just easier in insert function calls to the code. So what is not shown in is branches and non-executed instructions. They are pretty straightforward also, and the code shown of course reacts to the branches that are taken or not taken. Let's look at the TPU-IU link after this to the outside world. Okay, there is still one component standing between the CPU and our logic analyzer, the trace port interface unit, TPIU. This block formats the data into 16-byte packets and also interleaves the ETM and ITM traces if both are enabled. However, in practice, the ETM trace generates so much data that ITM trace events get lost when ETM is enabled. That you will be looking at the end of the video. Okay, you need to be very careful. TPIU can support 1 to 4 bit output bus for the trace data. Currently, my SIGROC decoders only support the 1-bit UART format, which is in my opinion is the easiest to capture with a simple logic analyzer. Let's look at configuring the CPU for tracing. Okay, after this, the CPU does not just start outputting a trace when it starts up. The ITM or ATM blocks have to be enabled by registered writes first. It is possible to do this either through a debugger or by directly accessing the register in the code. The STM32 and low power controllers like LPC 17XX microcontrollers we have tried so far all disable the debugging unit, including the trace blocks, until a debugger has connected. So in practice you have to connect a debugger anyway, at least one after power on reset, even if you configure tracing in the code like in the example. So please note this. Okay, in practice you have to connect a debugger at least one after power on reset, POR. So the trace is the output of traces WO pin, which may be shared with GPIO on some chips. It is also typically shared with JTAG bus, which means that you have to use a SWT debugger when tracing. Let's see example code and documentation about it. So how it should be? It should be like this. You can find an example project here in the description, which I'll be adding it later. It is designed to run out of the box of STM32 VL where the trace data comes out of PB3 pin. The STM32F100 on the cheapest discovery board, however, only has ITM tracing. So if you want to ETM, you need STM32F105 or other higher end controllers. The SIGROC decoders have been merged to the main JIT rep and repo, should be included in the nightly builds. You want some test files waiting for FX2 to arrive. Look at the SIGROC dumps. So there is also some documentation in that, which unfortunately I could not able to access and show you onto this. Anyways, you check in the description. So how to decode the traces? As an example, the SIGROC dump files, you will find an example file in the folder arm_trace/stm32 fros example.sr. Open it. You should see the trace on toolbar menu, add UART decoder, select RX as SWR and set baud rate to 8000000. Select stack coder, decoder, ARM TPIU, stream by 1 for ITM, and select same stack decoder ITM this time instead of TPIM. If you want to, you can type in full path to trace. Then again, for ETM trace, from the tool menu, add UART decoder. So these things you will see now. A video will follow immediately. Please look at this, then you might get an idea about this. So have a look, enjoy this. Please be patient, watch what's happening, and after this please kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe button at the right corner, and for your personal notifications please click the bell icon. I hope you guys are understanding this, whatever we discussed earlier. Please be patient, watch whatever it is happening, observe it properly. And if you don't understand, rewatch the video again, the explanations earlier, and rewatch this, whatever traces we are doing here. So please subscribe to our channel by clicking subscribe button. Thank you.